फर्जंदे ज़हरा ये हालात बुरे हैं।
काशाना-ए-बसीरत एक ऐसा मुकम्मल यूट्यूब चैनल जिस पर महरूम बसारत के लिए बिलखुसूस और तमाम अफराद के लिए बिलमूम सैकड़ों की तादाद में इस्लामी कुतुब दस्तयाब हैं। लिहाजा गुजारिश है कि आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी निभाते हुए काशाना-ए-बसीरत को सब्सक्राइब करने के साथ साथ बेल आइकॉन को प्रेस कीजिए ताकि आप इल्म के हुसूल के साथ साथ मजहब अहले बैत की इशाअत में भी अहम किरदार अदा करते रहें। काशाना-ए-बसीरत
फर्जंदे ज़हरा ये हालात बुरे हैं।
Part number 19 of this book, Kirda bin Talba bin Nafasha lived for 130 years during the time of ignorance. Then he saw the period of Islam and accepted it. Masdad bin Junab bin Marahra was from the progeny of Amr bin Yarbu bin Hanzila bin Zaid bin Manah, and he lived for 140 years. Qais bin Sada A.D. lived for 600 years, and he was one who was composed the following verses. Does a raining cloud take peace away from a person who is in bad condition, or it showers favor on him? Whatever has passed away and lost from the hands, then there is no use of lamenting and saying, only if it would have been such. Similarly, Lubayt says, and Qais said, only if, and if I would have been such. He left Luqman the wise behind by saying that. Haris bin Ka'b lived for 160 years. The author says all traditions narrated by us are also related by our opponents, from Muhammad bin Sayyid Kalabi, Muhammad bin Ishaq, Isa bin Zaid, and the Holy Prophet said, whatever has happened in the previous ummahs will happen in this ummah also in the same order. Thus, if it is appropriate that long life was prevalent among previous ummahs and the incidents of occultation of proofs of Allah took place in previous centuries, why should the occultation of Imam Qaim and his long life be rejected in spite of the fact that there are traditions from the Messenger of Allah and holy Imams about his, which are narrated in this book? Narrated to us Ali bin Ahmad Dakak from Muhammad bin Abi Abdullah Kufi from Musa bin Imran Nakai from his uncle Hussain bin Yazid Nofali from Ghaitah bin Ibrahim from Imam Jafar from his holy father from his holy ancestors that Holy Prophet said, whatever has happened in previous ummahs will happen exactly in the same way in this ummah also in the same order. Narrated to us Ahmad bin Hassan Qattan from Hassan bin Ali Askari from Muhammad bin Zikriya from Jafar bin Muhammad bin Imrah from Imam Jafar Sadiq from his father from his holy ancestors that Holy Prophet said, I swear by him who made me my rightful prophet and harbinger of good news, and all those things are going to occur in my ummah in the same order which had occurred during previous ummahs. So much so that if a snake entered a hole in Banu Israel, it would happen in my ummah also. Narrated to us Sharif Abdul Hassan Ali bin Musa bin Ahmad bin Ibrahim bin Muhammad bin Abdullah from Abu Ali Hassan bin Rakam from Abi Muhammad Nofali from Ahmad bin Hilal from Usman bin Isa from Khalid bin Naji from Hamza bin Hamran from his father from Sayyid bin Jabir that he heard Sayyid bin Abidin Ali bin Hussain Ali ibn Abi Talib saying, our Qaim has sunnah of prophets. The sunnah of Prophet Nuh, Prophet Ibrahim, Prophet Musa, Prophet Isa, Prophet Ayub, Prophet Muhammad is included in it. The sunnah of Prophet Nuh is a long life, secret birth, and remaining hidden from people is the sunnah of Prophet Ibrahim. The sunnah of Prophet Musa is fear and occultation. The sunnah of Prophet Isa is that people have difference of opinion about him. The sunnah of Prophet Ayub is happiness after bearing calamities, and sunnah of Prophet Muhammad is that he will come out carrying a sword. Thus, if it is correct that the incidents of long life were prevalent during the previous ages, it is appropriate that this sunnah is true for Qaim, Imam Qaim. Also, who is the 12th Imam? If it is not possible that nothing will be left in the occultation of Imam, and as Holy Prophet said, even if one day is left before this world perishes, then Allah will prolong that day enough so that Imam Qaim will reappear and fill the world with justice as much as it would have been filled with injustice and oppression. And we would get Islam only when we bow in front of commandments of Holy Prophet and Holy Imams. There is no power and might except by Allah, the High and the Mighty. During the previous ages, the people who were religious, worshippers, and abstinent used to hide such a person, and their matters and their custom is followed from the beginning of the world till our time. Then, how is it possible to deny the occultation of Imam Qaim? Only those people will reject this whose hearts are filled with infidelity and misguidance and hatred of prophets and imams. Our next heading is Incident of Bilohar and Yazasif. Narrated to me Ahmad bin Hassan Khattan from Hassan bin Ali Askari from Muhammad bin Zikriya that a king who had a huge army and ruled a vast region in the kingdom of India, whom the subjects feared in an uncommon manner, was very lustful. He loved every indecent act and loved to be flattered a lot. He liked those who considered his opinion right and behaved well with them. However, he hated and ruined those who neglected his orders and had faith on someone else. He had reached his prime youth and his advices were firm. His speech was eloquent and was famous for his statesmanship and maintaining law and order. Thus, because these facts became famous, common people became obedient to him. Strong and weak, everyone bowed in front of him. The intoxication of strength, fame, and pride was collected in him. He was granted extra strength because he conquered his enemies, showered anger on the people of his kingdom and obedience of people. Thus, he used to disdain people because of his inhibition. The praises and flatters had made him even more unconscious. Then his views and heart became full of pride, so much because people praised him a lot and appreciated his moves in front of him. He desired this world only, and world was giving him everything, and there was no desire which remained unfulfilled. He used to fulfill his lust to women as well as men and was deprived of male offspring. Religion prevailed through his kingdom and majority people followed the former. Shaitan decorated the enmity of religion and religious people in his eyes, and he harmed religious people, broke their strength and terrorized them, and he had brought the idol worshippers near him before and made idols of silver and gold for them. He favored and honored them and prostrated in front of their idols. Thus, when the subjects saw this, they too got attracted toward idol worship, and the religious people were dishonored. One day he inquired about a person who had good reputation and high status in the country so that he could take his help in some activities and treat him with love and honor him. People said, "Sir, he has left of this world and whatever is there in it, and he has attached himself to dervishes." The king attached to Darwish. The king did not like this and ordered that he should be brought to him. When this person was brought to the king and king saw him dressed like a Darwish and expressing humility like them, he scolded him, saying, "You were from among our servants and among the nobles of our country. Then why did you disgrace yourself and destroy your property and family members? Why did you follow those who suffer loss, so much so that you become a butt of ridicule and exemplar for the people? You were our ally in the most important matters, and you helped me in whatever I wanted you to help. Then why did you disgrace yourself and destroy your property and family members? Why did you follow those who suffer loss, so much so that you become a butt of ridicule and exemplar for the people? You were our ally in the most important matters. You helped me in whatever I wanted you to help." The person replied, "O king, if I don't have any right upon you, your intellect definitely has a right upon you. So do not be angry at what I say and decide the matter after understanding it properly, because anger is the enemy of reason and it puts a veil between man and his understanding. The king said, "What are you trying to say?" The dervish replied, "O king, I asked you, have you punished me due to my personal sins, or my sin is affecting you?" The king replied, "Your sins are very serious in my view, and if anyone from my subjects causes the destruction of his self, I shall come between him and his self, because his destroying his self is same as destroying another person. I am his guardian, and I am having authority on him as well as you. Thus I am having more authority on you, and I am going to punish you, since you have destroyed yourself in this manner." The dervish said, "O king, do not condemn me without proof, and do not establish proof except that you have a judge with you. You are having many judges from the men, and it's their ruling that you enforce. I approve of you. I approve of some of them, and I am fearful of some." The king said, "Who are those judges?" The person said, "The judge I approve is your reasoning faculty, and that which I dread is your selfish desire." The king said, "What are you trying to say? Since when has this thought appeared in your mind? Who has deviated you? I came to know that I was told something in my childhood which took root in my heart like a seed that germinates in the earth. It continued to grow and became a tree, as you can see. I have heard from a wise man that one who is a fool considers a useless thing as very important, and he considered useless that which is really useful. And he does not leave the matter which is having no reality, and does not achieve the aim that is having reality, and he does not see that which is real. Thus, he is not satisfied at leaving that which has no reality, and the reality is the life after, and that which is not real is the world. Since I heard this, I left off this temporal world which is having no reality, and I became attached to that which is real. That is the permanent abode. Now, in my view, life is death, and wealth is poverty. The happiness of the world is sorrow, health is sickness, the strength in the world is weakness and helplessness. The worldly honor is degradation, and how the worldly life should not be death, because the one who lives lives for death, and he is certain of death and also of the end of life. And why should not its prosperity not be considered penury, as nothing is achieved except that due to this he becomes needful of something else, which makes him inclined to that which is necessary for him. Like man is sometimes needful of an animal, that when he rears it, he considers necessary its feed and care. In the same way, for everything he becomes needful of something else, that may he useful and necessary for him. Thus, when can the need be fulfilled of one who is needful of this procedure? And how his happiness should not turn into sorrow, that whoever receives some joy is in fact such that sorrow and pain lies in ambush for him, and he himself sees his sorrow being doubled. If he is gladdened through his child, the child's sickness and death brings him utmost grief, which surpasses his joy. If he becomes happy due to his wealth, is he not fearful of its destruction and loss? That the joy of wealth is the greatest joy. If it is so, people have a right that they must not become attached to that about which they know previously. And how can not his health change into sickness, as his health depends upon his various factors, and the nearest element of life is blood. And the most obvious fact is that the man who is created through blood can very soon get involved in a sudden death, slaying, plague, cheek injury, and pleasure and perish. And how cannot his strength not change into weakness, while in him are present those powers that can harm and even destroy him? And how cannot the position of these factors change into degradation, while honor is not made permanent for man, and his family has to suffer disgrace? Except that the days of honor are very few, and the days of disgrace are long. Thus, the best option for the poor people is that they should condemn this world for which they have extended their hands. After the fulfillment of the needs, he should hope and expect every hour and every moment and every day. He should calculate his wealth that he is in need, and in obtaining which is he dazzles the eyes of his relatives, and they fight each other over the wealth that he has amassed. They demolish the foundations of his building, and death attacks his family members and uproots them completely. And everyone that is having brotherly relations to him is subjected to torture. Thus, O king, I condemn all that the world is giving and the dress with which it is dressing, inherited property that would ultimately make one naked. Sometimes it brings honor to person, but later it brings grief. And one who is involved in its love, he is going to leave it ultimately. After receiving wealth in inheritance, a person becomes hard hearted. One who obeys his wealth is defrauded, and one who relied on it is betrayed. Inherited wealth is like the beast of burden that throws down its rider. It is like a companion who is misappropriates. It is a way that makes you as Ray. It is a place of descent and destroys, and it is greatness that doers not honor anyone, but it degrades all. It is a beloved that does not love anyone, and it is necessary thing that it does not remain with anyone forever. Sometimes this inherited wealth is loyal, and at other time it is disloyal. Sometimes it denies, and sometimes it verifies. Sometimes it supports, and sometimes it goes against. One who wants to progress with this inherited wealth, it created crookedness in him. It plays with one who has taken possession of it. At the same moment, it gives a morsel to one who has decided to eat it. When it makes a person its servant, it serves him well. It makes fun of one who laughs upon it. It condemns one who criticizes it. It weeps for one who cries on it. It extends the hand of charity to one who asks for help and gives respects while he is disgraced. It honors the one who is dishonored. In the same way, one is lowly, it makes him great and makes the lowly one lofty. Sometimes the inherited wealth is obedient even if it is disobeyed. In the same way, one feels unhappy in this inherited wealth, while one caused grief. Similarly, the stated ones by it are those that are hungry, and some people are dead due to this inherited wealth, while in fact they are alive. Thus, woe be to the abode that such qualities that it places the crown of glory on a person in the morning and in the evening assigns him to the pit of destruction. It makes one wear ornaments of gold in the morning, in evening, and the next day puts him in the chains of slavery. Sometimes this world makes one sit on the throne in the morning and throws him to the same prison at night. Sometimes it spreads the sheets of silk at night and in the morning forces him to sleep on dust. In the morning it may gather those who have fun and games, at night it gathers those who weep and wail. On some nights it endears to him the proximity of his family members, and on some mornings it makes him like aloofness from them. On some mornings, it makes him smell pleasing to him, and on some nights, it makes the same smell distasteful. So, one who is not going to be saved from its evils is the one who relies on its glory. This man's heart befits from the worldly things, and his eyes relishes its strange things. His hands is full of worldly bounties, but later it also becomes empty. The spring of wealth remains calm. Whatever is gone, and whoever is destroyed is destroyed. Whatever become apparent after each one is it keeps one in force, and it is satisfied will by all by the way of recompense. It brings peace to all centuries, one after the other. It feeds the leaders depending upon their communities. The spring of wealth remains calm. Whatever is gone is gone. Whoever is destroyed. Whatever become apparent. After each one, it keeps one in force and is satisfied with all way to recompense. It brings peace to all centuries, one after the other. It feeds the leaders depending upon their communities. It makes the lowly ones reach to the position of the superior ones. It makes the helpless ones take the place of those who are cautious. It brings the communities from dryness into freshness. It makes the walkers ride, ring the hungry into prosperity, changes adversity into opulence, humiliation into respect. So much so that if he is immersed in it, it brings changes in circumstances and then again removes freshness and prosperity from them and takes away the strength from them. And once again, they return to the worst destruction, the worst needfulness, and the worst drought. O king, you say that by renouncing the world I have subjected myself and my family to destruction is not true. Rather, I have become more attentive towards them and I have maintained a special relationship with them. But I was seeing them with an enchanted eye through which I could not distinguish my relatives from the strangers and the enemies from friends. Thus, when the enchantment ended, the enchanted eye changed into the normal eye, and the friends were distinguished from the enemies, and the relatives stood out from among the strangers. Thus, at that moment, I began to count my relatives, friends, brethren, and the kindred. All of them were like hunting dogs ready to devour me, except that they were different in strength and daring. Some of them were like lions due to their hot temper. Some were like hyenas that tear up its prey and are notorious for snatching and fighting. Some are like flattering dogs that wag their tails, and some were deceptive and cheating like foxes. Through their method, differed their aim was one and the same. O king, even though you are having a lofty position due to the greatness of your kingdom and because of your armies, supporters, and servants, I have pondered about you a great deal. And I concluded no one from this world is on your side. You are alone. And I have also learned that the common people are hostile to you, and the people you rule are very greedy and inimical. They are great hypocrites. These people are more dangerous to you than the haunting dogs. All the strangers bear enmity towards you. When I look at your servants and asides, I find that they are a group that acts for vested interest. And despite this, they are involved in greed and selfishness so that they may work less for you and take more recompense. And when I look at your close confidants and your relatives, I find them busy in working for you and increasing your wealth. Whereas you always subject them to hardship, and not all of them are like that. They are happy in working hard for you. Thus, if you stop from them, this they would not be pleased. So, O king, can you not see that you are alone? You neither have a relative nor any wealth. Whereas I have family members, wealth, friends, siblings who are neither eating me up nor being fed through me. They love me and there is no discord between us. They testify for me, I testify for them, and we do not falsify each other. They are having concern for them, I have concern for them, and there is no animosity between us. They help me and I help them, and we are in contact of each other. They like the goodness like I like. They do not fear that I shall influence them. There is neither corruption nor greed between us. We perform for each other such rewarding acts that are not temporal. And this practice is always established between us. If I become deviated, they are my guides. If I become blind, they are my eyesight. If I become my refuge, if I am attacked, they become a shield for me. When I fall into a hardship, they become my helpers. And we have kept ourselves safe from houses, shops, and eating places, and neither have we any desire for them. We have renounced all the wealth and pelf due to which we have no desire for worldly riches. We do not rebel against each other and do not harbor enmity towards each other. Neither we resort to corruption nor have any jealousy. We do not cut off relations. Thus, O king, these are my family members. They are my brethren and are near kindred and my friend. If it is them I love and to them I turn, I have deserted whom I recognized with my enchanted eye, and from whom I wish to be safe. Thus, O king, this world is like I told you. It has no reality. This is its genealogy, and this is its revolution that I had heard. After knowing this, I have renounced it. I have seen the matter which is true reality. Thus, O king, if you like, I will talk to you about the hereafter, which I know is the only reality. So you be prepared to hear about it. Listen with all your attention, not like you listen to the other things. Thus, the king did not do any injustice upon him except that he told him, you have lied, and nothing that you have had said is correct. You have remained successful in evil and hatred. Thus, you get out of here and do not stay in any part of my kingdom, as you are of those who create mischief. During that time, a son was born to the king. This newborn child was a beautiful and attractive that no one had ever seen such a handsome boy. The king was so much joyed that he almost died of happiness. In his view, this was a gift from the idols that he worshipped. Thus, the people denoted all the wealth they had to the temples that housed the idols. People were ordered to continue the celebration for a year. The king named his son as Yusasif, and he summoned all the scholars and astrologers of the country to prepare the child's horoscope. After much contemplation, the astrologers informed that the boy shall have the highest position among all his contemporaries in India. But one of them said, no, not only the highest position in the world, but I see is that this child will also have an exalted status in the hereafter, and that he would be a leader of religion and the religious people. He shall have an honorable position in the hereafter, because the greatness I see in him does not resemble any worldly greatness. Rather, it is a skin to the greatness of the hereafter. These words killed all the joy that the king had experienced with regard to the newborn child. It was so because the person who had given this prophecy was the most reliable astrologer and the most learned and the truthful in the king's view. So the king arranged a house for the child and appointed the most trusted nurses and the servants there, commanding them that death, hereafter, sorrow, disease, and annihilation should not be mentioned in the presence of the child. So much so that they become accustomed to that and their hearts forget the reality. They were told that when the child grows up, nothing should be mentioned in his presence, that they may create fear in him and lead him to religion, and that they must take care of him and protect him and become so much absorbed in it that they should forget each other. Due to the fear that his son will adopt the right way, the king was extremely angry at the dervish. He had a minister who neither misappropriated his wealth nor lied or concealed anything from him. He neither tried to influence his decisions, and there was no one who shared his actions, and the king didn't want to lose him. In addition to this, the minister was kind hearted and well known for his charitable deeds. The common people loved him, and he was pleased with them. However, the king's asides and relatives were jealous of him. They used to oppress him, and he tried to lower his status. One day, this king went out for the hunt accompanied with his minister. In the hilly path, he found a person with injured legs. He was clinging to the trunk of a tree, and it was impossible for him to go away from there. When the wazir inquired, he said the wild beasts have rendered him in that condition. The wazir was moved by his circumstances, and the man pleaded for him for help and implored the wazir to take him to his house, saying perhaps he would benefit him for in future. The wazir said, even if you don't give me anything in return, it is still my duty to help you. But tell me how you intend to recompense me. Can you do some work or repair something? The man said he was capable of changing adverse circumstances. How can you do this? Asked the minister. He replied, as soon as discord appears, I bring about unity, as a result of which there is no mischief. The minister did not pay attention to this statement but brought him along and got him treated to health. At last, it so happened that the king's asides together decided to accuse the honest minister of something and bringing him down in the king's estimation. So they told the king that this minister was aspiring for the throne, and in order to seize power after him, he was always behaving nicely with the people. If you want to confirm this, you call him and say that you want this advice about giving up the kingdom. He become a darwish. His elation at this decision of yours will tell you what is the truth is. Since they all knew the minister had a soft corner for a religion and he was inclined to the hereafter, he would definitely be elated by the king's plan, and he would succeed in exposing him to the ruler. The king said that he would ask him about it when he meet him next time. Thus, when the king met the minister, he said, you know well how much I am inclined to the worldly things and wealth, and I have told you before that in the past I did not possess anything. And I have realized that one day I will have to revert to the same condition. So I have decided to do something for the hereafter which is better than what I have done to get material wealth. I begin with the realization that the truth is with the religious, and first of all, I shall leave the kingdom to who are deserving of it. So that, what is your opinion about it? On hearing this, the minister cried intensely, and the king understood what the minister's view was. The wazir said, your majesty, even if something is difficult to obtain, it is worth trying to obtain if it is going to be permanent. And if something is temporal, it is not worth trying to obtain, if even though obtaining it may be easy. Your decision is good, and I pray to God that He gives you the best of the world and the hereafter. The king was extremely annoyed at the minister's opinion, and he realized that what he had been told about the letter was true. The minister also felt that the king was displeased with him, and he returned home in dismay to discuss with the family members what was the solution of this problem. He lay awake at night thinking of way out of these circumstances when he remembered of the man he had saved, who had told him that he was capable of changing adverse circumstances. He summoned him at once and told him, "You told me that you can change adverse circumstances to the good." He replied, "Yes, I had told you that. What is your problem?" The wazir said, "I will tell you about it. I was a companion of the king before he gained this kingdom, and since he became a king, I don't remember any instance when he has been displeased with me. But today he called me and said that he was renouncing the world to become a hermit. When I expressed my approval, he was dismayed." The man said, "I have understood the problem. Actually, the king thinks that you want to oust him and they take over his kingdom. I have a plan which would surely save you from undesirable consequences. In the morning, you change into the dress of a hermit, shave your head, and rub your head at the king's threshold. When you will ask what you are up to, you say, "Since I gave you the advice, I thought the first must act upon it. The king will then know that you are not after this kingdom." So the wazir did the same, and finally the king realized that the former had no evil intentions. The very next day, the king issued commands that all religious people should be thrown out of this territory, and those who were inclined to religion went into hiding. One day, the king was in an excursion when he saw two dervishes. He summoned them and said, "Why have you not left my kingdom?" They said, "We were leaving, but your agents brought us here." "Why are you on foot?" They said, "We are aged. We neither have a vehicle nor any meals to travel. Thus we cannot travel any faster." The king said, "When a person is frightened of death, he does not need a vehicle to move faster." They said, "We are not scared of death. Rather, we don't find pleasure in anything." The king said, "Why are you not scared of death?" "Because when my agent brought you here, why are you trying to flee?" They said, "We are fleeing from death, not because we are scared of it. You must not think that we are frightened of death. We flee in order to help you against our desire." The king was angry with their reply, and he ordered that they be cast into the fire. He also issued the edict that any devout person found anywhere be also consigned to the flames. The idol worshippers immediately searched out all the religious people in every nook and corner of the country and burnt them alive. From the time the custom of burning the dead started in India, most devout and religious people were exterminated from the country. Only a few dared to conceal themselves so that one day they may show the right path to the one who came out in search of it. Yazasif, the prince, reached the age of understanding. He was a very intelligent youth. His wisdom compelled him to ask himself why he was kept with a few persons in solitude. He thought of asking his father about it, but later realized that it was he only who was arranged all this, so why would he tell him what the matter was? Among those who were appointed to train the prince in the royal customs and administrative affairs, there was a man who, due to his wisdom, had endeared himself most to the young prince. One day the prince told him, "I like you very much. You are like father to me. After the king, I will inherit the kingdom. At that time, your position will neither be too high or too low." The man said, "Why are you threatening me?" Yusasif replied, "Because until now you have concealed from me the fact that I will learn in the future. At that time, I will take dreadful revenge from you." The man was terrified, and he told Yusuf all the secrets, the prediction of the astrologers, the reason why he was kept in skullduggeon, etc. The prince thanked him and told him to keep it confidential. One day, when the king came to see his son, the son said, "Father, I am indeed yet a child. So I thought about myself and also observed my controversial circumstances. Thus, I will mention what I remember, and in spite of knowing what I don't mention. Is it something that I also know well?" I also know that I am not like that, neither you are in that condition. Neither you shall remain like this forever. And the time will change your condition very soon. Thus, if you wanted to conceal the matter of death from me, it has not been so. And if you restricted my movements and kept a barrier between me and the people so that I don't become capable to know that which is not in my favor, you have keep out of your circle. I am anxious and restless because of the barrier between me and the people. So much so, I am not aggrieved of anything. And I have no intention till I am not satisfied with the condition I am in, from which neither I get any benefit, nor am I interested in it. Thus you release me, and I tell me about the which you dislike and are fearful of, so that I may keep away from it, and that your satisfaction and pleasure may dominate me. So far I am unable to fathom why I have been kept in this skullduggeon, why I am not allowed to go out. Is this the punishment for some mistake of mine? If it is so, ensure that I remain ignorant of death and eternity. How long will this go on? One day this world will itself inform. Now allow me to go out, otherwise I will die thinking on it. When the king heard this, he realized that the prince has come to know what was concealed from him, and that these restrictions will only increase inquisitiveness. So he said, my son, I did not keep you here except that you remain safe from hardships and discomfort. Thus you see only that which is favorable, and hear only which is pleases you. So when your desire is against this, I will indeed dominate the things will myself over that which are pleased with, and that which you desire. Then he ordered his man to mount him in all majesty and remove all detestable views from his path. After this excursion, he undertook a number of outings. One day he was on an unfamiliar route when he saw two beggars. One of them was terribly diseased, having yellow complexion, and the other was blind. He was shocked at their sight and inquired about them. The people told him that it was due to a terrible disease that the blind man was like that since a long time. The prince asked if others were inflicted with this disease. When they replied in the positive, the young prince asked if it was not possible to save oneself from these diseases. When they said that it was not possible, the prince became aggrieved and was shocked and terrified of that which existed in his father's kingdom, and he remained in this manner for many days. One day during an excursion, he saw an old man, grey hair, waist bent, unable to walk properly. His complexion had darkened and skin was wrinkled. The prince was amazed at his condition, and he was asked the people regarding it. They told him that he is an old man. He asked, how much time does it take for man to reach this stage? They said around 100 years. He asked, then what happens after that? After that, he dies, they told him. The prince asked, does anything remain after the man at his age? No, nothing. And said the people, and this happens within a short time. The prince said, there are 30 days in a month, and there are 12 months to a year. Now, if the age of a man is 100 years, which day of the month passes by fastest, and which month of the year passes soonest? Which year of the life goes away in the shortest time? After that, the prince returned, repeating these sentences. Then he began to remain awake in the nights. His conscience awoke, and he gained insight and wisdom. No error of forgetfulness remained in him, and he developed seriousness of purpose. His heart turned away from the world and the worldly desires. In any case, he accorded respect to his father and behaved with him kindly. In spite of that, he was always waiting to hear anyone speak against the path he himself followed, so that he may guide him. The prince summoned the man who had revealed the truth to him and asked, do you know anyone who is different from us? Yes, he said. There is a group of people called Darwish. They have renounced the world and are in search of the hereafter. Their speech and knowledge is such that I know nothing of it, except that the people are inimical to them and they burn them alive, and the king has thrown them out of this kingdom. Thus, these people, no one in our town is aware of them, as the surviving ones have gone into hiding, waiting for deliverance. And the system of these divine saints has come since the ancient age, and they live in tyrant rules concealed from each other. All this made the prince very sad, and he became like a man who was in search of something that was important to him. His contemplation, elegance, excellence, and wisdom became famous in every nook and corner of the land. This information was reached to a dervish, Munch Bilhor of Sirandeep, who is, in addition to being a dervish, was also a physician. So he boarded a ship and landed at Swalabat and planned to meet the prince and join his order. He took off his dervish clothes and put on the attire of traders. After that, he obtained details information about the courtiers, associates, and the people of that place. Therefore, he also learned about the excellent manners of the prince through his sides, and also the prince had great regard for him. So Bilohar began to frequent the house of his Aide till one day he found him alone and said, I am a trader from Serendip. I am here since some days. I am having a priceless thing with me which is highly beneficial. Since I found you reliable, I am telling you about it. The thing I have is more precious and a red sulfur. It can give sight to the blind and hearing to the deaf. It cures weakness and turns weakness into strength. It protects you from the jinns and helps against enemies. I don't find anyone more worthy of this medicine than this young man. Thus, if you can feel appropriate, you may mention it to the prince. If he is inclined, you may then take me to him because the excellence of this elixir should not remain unknown to him. The Ide replied, you have mentioned something that we have never heard before, and I don't think there is any problem in informing the prince about something he is unaware of. But first, let me see this medicine. If I can find any reality in what you say, I will mention to the prince.